All right, picking back up with the review. This second one, we're doing some conversions, and the second page, we're doing some conversions and looking at some function notation stuff. Should be pretty straightforward. So converting to standard form means I've got to do my little box for x plus 5 times x plus 5. Some of you guys don't even need the box anymore because you've done a bunch of these, and so if you don't need the box, go for it. I just get worried sometimes when I see people skipping steps. Sometimes they forget about the 10x. Okay, and then remember that the box only takes care of the x plus 5 squared. I still need to bring the negative 2 into it and the plus 2 at the end. So I end up with negative 2x squared minus 20x minus 48. Okay. To convert that to factored form, I'm going to first factor out the negative 2, leaving me with a positive x squared, positive 10x, positive 24. Remember, factoring is just like dividing. So if you see that everything has a common factor of 2, you can divide everything by 2. And then you have a much easier problem left over inside the parentheses. Two numbers that add to make 10 and also multiply to make 24. 6 times 4 and 6 plus 4. All right, so that was A over here, standard form, B, factored form. All right, now find f of 0. If you look at where it says here, part C, find f of 0, that just means I plug in 0 for x. I could plug it into this form, or I could plug it into this form, or I could plug it into this form. And of those three, the easiest form, in my opinion, is the standard form, because you can see that when you plug in 0, you get 0, 0, and you're left with negative 48. So f of 0 is negative 48. The y value when x is 0 is negative 48. The last one, where it says f of x equals negative 6, I'm going to just take my original version. I think this is the easiest way. The other ones, I don't know, harder to solve. But when you've got it in vertex form, setting it equal to negative 6, pretty straightforward. You're just getting rid of each piece of the problem. So opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. Opposite of times negative 2 is divide by negative 2. So x plus 5 squared is 4. Take the square root of both sides. Remember, you have a plus and a minus. So x plus 5 equals 2 or negative 2. And then if you subtract 5 to get x by itself, you get your two answers. X equals negative 3 or x equals negative 7. All right, so that's it for the first one there. All right, next one. Convert to standard form. Let's do our box, or we can just multiply it out with the distributive property. So either way that you do it, you end up with negative 3, and then you have x squared plus 2x minus 15. If you distribute the 3, you get negative 3 x squared minus 6x plus 45. That's standard form. Converting it to vertex form, I'm going to go from here and leave the negative 3 out here. Complete the square on the inside. Half of 2 makes 1. 1 squared is positive 1. 1 minus 16 gets me to negative 15. Distribute the negative 3. So I get this. Go back and watch some of my videos on completing the square, or ask for some more examples if that went too quick. So that's in vertex form. Find g of negative 3. That means you plug in negative 3. I'm going to plug it into my factored form just because I feel like it. So I have negative 3 plus 5, negative 3 minus 3. So I guess that means negative 3 times negative 3 plus 5 is 2. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Multiply that out, you get 36. Last one on this, g of x equals 0. Again, I'm going to use factored form. What makes this thing equal 0? Two answers. Negative 5, because negative 5 plus 5 is 0. And 3, because 3 minus 3 is 0. All right. Moving on to the next one here. We start with a problem that's in standard form. We're going to convert it to factored form and convert it to vertex form, and then do a few more things. All right, to convert this to factored form, first thing I'm going to do is pull factor out of 4. Then what's left over on the inside is negative 2x minus 3, because I just did 8 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4. That factors to be x minus 3 and x plus 1, because negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2, and negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. To convert that to vertex form, keep the 4 where it is, complete the square on the inside. Half of minus 2 is minus 1. Square that, you get positive 1. Minus 4, you get negative 3. So your vertex form is 4. X minus 1 squared minus 16, because I distributed the outside 4 to both of the inside pieces. Finding k of 3 just means plugging it in for x. I'm going to plug it in right there and right there, and I'll see that I end up with 4 times 3 minus 3, which is 0, times 3 plus 1, which is 4. Multiply that all out, you get 0. And then solve k of x equals negative 12. I'm going to go ahead and use my standard form on this one, because I see that that has a negative 12 in it. So I'm setting my problem equal to negative 12. And I'm going to try to solve for x. I can do that first by adding 12 to both sides. So I get 0 equals 4x squared minus 8x. Both of those have a 4 in common and an x in common. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. So my two values are x equals 0 and x equals 2. And we're done with that part. I'll make more videos for the rest of it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you need help with.